Good evening, everyone. I think we can begin our session right away. Welcome to this capacity development on various skills that will enable or enhance our employability, with focus basically on putting our resume together, how to best put it together, and also some key issues surrounding interviews. The meeting is expected to last for 1 hour, so by 6 we should be done, so that we can maximize everyone's energy. I see a good number of us already in here. Saidu, Alabimpe, Princess, Okiki, Basi, Chidima, Eje, Emmanuel Favor. I also can see Nafisat and Adeleke. I can see Gabriel, Joy, Idion, Lovett, I think Mark, Habiba, Naomi, Augustina. No, that's Obidna, sorry. Anome also, Rose, Stephen, Zango, Lawal, Mustafa, Lex, Otabo, Naomi, and thank you, every one of us. So I want to just hear from us what maybe about 5 of us, what you want to achieve at the end of this session. Please, I will just take the first 5 people that raise their hand. Please, what do you want to achieve? What's your personal objective for this 1 hour capacity development? Please, if you want to share with us, I'll prefer that we volunteer to share instead of just calling people's name. Please, you can raise your hand and I will grant you the audience, or you can, if you don't know how to, probably if you can access the icon for raising hand, you can unmute yourself right away and just share with us. I want to hear in brief language at the end of this session, this is what I really want to go home with, please. Can you share? Yes, I'm waiting. Please. It's meant to, I want to be sure that I want to use those 5 responses to make sure that our discussion is tailored to need. So what do you want to take home at the end of this session? Seeing that we'll be looking at the issue about putting your resume properly, and also the issue about issues about coming out successful in job interviews. Please, can you share? If I don't get anyone to share, I will randomly call some of us, a mix of ladies and gentlemen, to speak. Okay, Rose, please go ahead. Okudaya, please, Rose. Go ahead. Unmute yourself and share with us.
Okay, good evening. I want to know if everybody can hear me.
We can hear you, Rose.
Okay, at the end of this session this evening, I I would want to be able to know my CV, my cover letter, if possible, together to optimize it the best way possible to be able to get the required job that I'll need as a graduate and at the end of my service year as well.
Rose, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Yeah. Can we get one other people speak to? Raise your hand, or you can just go ahead and unmute yourself and speak. Do we have anyone? Can we have Emmanuel AJ tell us what he's looking forward to going home with? Emmanuel, please unmute yourself and speak. Emmanuel AJ, can you hear me? Emmanuel? Danjuma Al Hassan, can you speak?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Victor. Thank you.
Good
Go
evening.
ahead.
Thank you, sir. At the end of this section, I'm hoping to understand how to affect in interview confidence. Most especially, I just finished my NYSC that is early this month, and since then I've been facing different interview challenges. This evening, I want to have a solution to that by the special grace of God at the end of this section.
Victor, thank you. Because of the last comment you made about you've been facing some interview challenges, I'm going to be soliciting that you share with us one or two of those challenges at a point so that we can address it, not only for you to learn but also for others to learn from your own experience as well. Would that be fine? Hope you won't mind sharing one or two of those challenges so that we can also address those challenges. I'm sure it may be common to most of us too. Is that okay, Victor?
Yes, it is okay, sir.
Victor, thank you. Rose, thank you. Do we have anybody who still want to speak? If we don't have anyone who is okay, Barnabas, thank you. Go ahead. Barnabas, if you can hear me, please go ahead. All right, maybe Barnabas can hear very well. Maybe Barnabas can hear very well.
Hello.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
All right. At the end of the class, latest standard that it's required at the moment, and then be able to have a cover letter not only for myself, and then even if I can use it to be as a side earning to me, that would be a great addition to my development. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. I think one of us again, I saw your hand raised. Let me see. I think that should be the last person that will be speaking. Let me see who raised. That's Gabriel. Joe Shepherd. If I got it right, please, Joe Shepherd, please, you can go ahead and speak. Maybe after you, we can start our learning.
Hi everyone,
this
good
evening.
evening. My name is Joki
Good
Gabriel.
evening.
I want
Thank
to learn
you.
how to enhance my CV. I think the first speaker and the second. More so,
Yes.
I want to learn how to answer interview questions to land me a job.
Mm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone that spoke. We I don't know whether we'll be able to cover all those three key areas. But since we have already set the ball rolling today, for where CV forward for, and thirdly, how to navigate interview situations. Those are the three key areas that I'm sure for every one of us that spoke, we spoke in these three dimensions. So we'll begin, first of all, with resume. And if we're not able to meet up with other aspects of the meeting, I would like us to still have another 1 hour meeting and to discuss those areas. My name is Amadi. Some of us know me. I work with Dexter and Heroes Consulting. And of course, this capacity development is also with support from Development for All, which is a non-governmental organization. We'll begin with resume today. The goal is to help us to see the contemporary way your resume should look. What's the modern way of making a presentation of yourself in your CV? I will begin by telling us that the document we call CV or resume document that is designed to sell the most important product on earth. And that product is you. A lot of time, this resume speaks when you are not there. In most times, when people, you are not usually there to probably answer some questions that could arise as a result of them going through your CV. That is why when you prepare your CV, what you should have at the back of your mind is, how should I present this CV in such a way that it will attract whoever is reviewing it? In such a way that whoever is looking at my CV will have no other option but to reach out to me for further discussions. That indeed is what any good CV should do for you, which is what? To get you that call, that email, that probably SMS, whatever resume to get you a call interview now. Once your resume gets you that invitation, that resume has done 100% a good work, because that is what it is designed to do. So when it comes to preparing your resume, your biggest concern should be, how should I put it? What should I include? In what way should I present it, design it? How should I, what kind of words should I use? What and what should I include so as to persuade the employer to come for me? So as to persuade the employer to consider me as the ideal candidate for that position. So I'm going to walk us through the key sections of your resume and how they should be presented. And at the end of the discussion, we will provide resource for you to have several templates. Some of these resources could be some website where you can actually just visit and view a number of templates that you can tailor your resume on, and that will be of a great help. So, but we're going to be looking at the different segments of your resume and how you should present them. Please, if you have any question, always go, either you raise your hand or go to the chat box and simply say, I have a question. Just type that word, I have a question. If you know how to use the icon, the hand raise icon, raise your hand. If you can't find it around your device, go to the chat box and just say, I have a question. So I would like to entertain questions as it pops up in your mind. That will help us also to make it quite interactive. Is that okay? So let's go. Usually, the first consideration for any resume is the heading of your resume. The heading, just like we can see displayed on the screen, the name of this person is Gloria James. If you observe few things about this name, number one, it is very bold. It is very bold. It is not looking like, let me use my laser pointer so that you can see. It's not Gloria James. The font size is not looking like, for example, the font size of this Gabriel under the address. You understand? So, meaning at the very first thing we want to see in your resume or your CV is your name. And it is always advisable that you try to ensure that whoever is looking at your CV is not finding it difficult. So we encourage that it should be as bold as this. What font size is this? This should be close to maybe 48, because this is area black. I think it should be close to 48 in size. Whatever size you want to use, as long as it is bold and eligible, make sure that your name does not take 2 rows. Imagine that this person's name is Gloria Onyedikachi James. You know, with the name Onyedikachi, okay, let me just, I think I should, allow me to type. I will stop this particular sharing and then so as to open where I can easily type again, sorry. Good. Okay, I will share this screen now. Where am I? Point. Yeah. Okay, this is it. So imagine that this person's name is Gloria in capital, Gloria Onyedikachi. Ensure that it is, usually I recommend that the font type, you use something area very bold. You use area black, and of course you can see if I decide to increase it further, maybe further, this is this font size 54. You can see that the third name, James, has taken a second row. This is not acceptable. It's not a good presentation. Let me, you can see it's not a good presentation. Have look this way in terms of your name taking two roles. So I know some of us will ask, then what do I do? Because we are Africans, some of our names can look quite long. What do I do? Because it is a resume, and then it is not yet the employment or staff or employee form. It is just a CV, a document with which you are using to solicit for an opportunity. There is no rule that says you must show a full presentation of all your name. Rather, what I would have done if I'm Gloria Onyedikachi James, I will abbreviate the O. I will do something like this. Sorry for that. I will do something like this. The O will be abbreviated. Remember, when you're abbreviating a name, there must always be that dot after the alphabet. The dot does not appear on two sides, as some of us used to do something like this. That's wrong, absolutely wrong. You understand? So the dot must always be immediately after the alphabet. So this is a better presentation of the long name instead of putting it in that way. So this provides me an opportunity, if I wish, to still bolden the name if I desire to still make it bold, because with that there's still enough space so you can see how it looks like now. Okay, somewhere you can put your camera off. You can put your camera off. Some people always will say, okay, if I should have my name as bold here, what if my name is quite long and therefore no enough space to make it quite bold? What do I do? What do I do? So that's why I said you chose which of the names you just need to abbreviate and all that. So having said that, immediately after your name, you should give us information on how we can contact you. Again, such an information must not be hidden. It must not be something that the CV reviewer or whoever is looking at your CV has to flip through, has to take a number of seconds before you can identify where you had positioned your contact details. It should be as obvious as your name also. And that is why it is common, the common practice is immediately after your name, then you have your contact details. And when we say contact details, we're making reference now when it comes to address, nobody says you must use, it's called contact address. It's necessarily your address. When we ask for residential address is when you have been employed. You hear when you're filling out your employment employee form, we ask you for your residential address and we'll something for your permanent and of course that is when the address in your CV is mostly your residential address. So Joy is asking, sir, when writing a CV, should we start with our surname or first name? Joy, thank you for that question. The answer is there is no rule that mandates you to begin with your surname or with your first name. There is no rule that mandates you to begin with that. You can see that in this example, Gloria is definitely not this person's surname. James is his surname. So the first person is Gloria, and then the surname or the so it's there's no rule. If you decide that I want to have my surname first, that is first name first, that is also very, very okay. So you're not boxed to a corner to be presented this way. No. Surname must come in first. No, you're not boxed to a corner. It's left to your discretion to decide on which first. So I go back to, I was talking about address. So the address here is not necessarily your residential address. I can decide to use my office address. I can decide in a situation where the job offer is in another city that I do not reside in. In order to reduce any risk of not being, because my CV is bearing an address of another location. For example, I live in Abuja. I would like to use your located your address, whether it is if the person chose to give me his own residential address or chose to give me his or her own office address, it's fine. All I just want to do is I want a contact address that reflects that location. This also a way, like I said, of reducing any times. If there's a job of opening and it is Lagos, the address is, the recruiter may look at it, they might have decided that we just want to hire people who live within Lagos. And by the time they see your CV, very qualified guy does not that you is giving to you. Should I put the residential? I want to also know what permanent address, because the residential addresses changes as people move from one. That's why you have been employed. We ask you, what is your permanent address? Whether any twice times of address may not necessarily. For me, my permanent address is surely not Abuja. You understand? So my permanent address, I have two permanent addresses. I have one in Lagos. I have one at my hometown as well. So any one of them I could use, because that is not a rented apartment. It is permanent and all that. Is that okay? So please, that is it. In those days, they want you to be descriptive about your address. You want to tell them also even the nearest bus stop. If you look at this, I just said 17 Gabriel Kuka Street, Wuye District, Abuja. Now, in those days when invitation for interview was by physical letter, by physical mail, the NIPOS people or Korea people will bring it to your physical address. In those days, they were expected to be quite descriptive, what the nearest address, so that they can locate you. But that's not the case in today or nowadays, because technology has reduced how much of physical data is utilized this time around. And also, even it saves companies costs not to send a courier. Imagine using UPS or using FedEx or using Nigerian Postal Service to distribute letter to 500 candidates across Nigeria because you're inviting them for interview. Imagine that after that first one, you reduce the number from 500, and it is after the first interview, only 200 of them made it after that. And then you sent another letter to them again across wherever they live in Nigeria. Company is going to spend so much for that activity. So that's where email come to play now. The second contact information we want to see is your email. Talking about email, when we were in school, it's possible some of us were not particular about email, maybe because we studied in a school where the school authority was not really communicating with us through email. But I know there are some schools, particularly some foreign schools, that a lot of communications back and forth is through email. You understand? So when it comes to email, it is very important that you make sure your email looks official. What we call an official email? I'll give you an example of what is not an official email. Let me type it out. I think I can. Okay. I will still share my slide. Okay. This is it. This is not an official email. This is example. Let me remove this so that it can be bold enough. This is not official email. Okon for girls at gmail.com. This is not an official email. It's for personal email, unofficial purposes. This can fly, but this is not for a business document like your CV. Is that okay? Jenny for all, or Jenny for all at yahoo.com. Also doesn't look official for me. Remember, anything you put forward speaks volume about who you are, a lot. So you want to be careful what you are putting forward. How do you make up an official email? It's usually best you just walk around your name. The example we have here is gloria.james@gmail.com. Gloria.james. If you can see, it is just the name. My name is Amadi C. Omesi Amadi. In fact, I just use that as an email. My real email is omecamadi@gmail.com. That's my real. I just use, and when you see my name appear anywhere in official form, you always see it Omesi Amadi. That's my name. So luckily for me, when I wanted to register a Gmail account, and they didn't reject it, meaning nobody had used Omesi Amadi. And I was very happy because that was just my name and all that. So official email are needed. So I want to give us an assignment. Look at your emails, the emails you've been using, career, so it is not too late to change. I'm not saying you should throw away the one you have. No, I'm simply saying you can keep the other one that does not look official for personal, unofficial purposes. Like I have another one that is still, it look official, but for me, I don't use it for official purposes. I'll give you. chinweome yahoo.com. You understand? It's there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just one of those unofficial emails I have. But for my official email, omesiamadi@gmail.com. So your email should be official. And please, when you type your email, make sure you confirm it for more than 3, 4, 5 times that the letters are correct. Any one letter missing in your email, that means they will never get across to you. You can make mistake address or never make mistake in your email. Never make mistake when it comes to your phone number. Okay, sorry, it's stormy here. I don't know whether it's the same over your end here, but it's good. We need it. The weather has been hot in Abuja. So what was my point? Always make sure that when you type your email, look at it over and over again to be certain that nothing is missing as an error. Your phone number also is the third contact detail you want to provide. Please, talking about phone number, these days, most of us have more than one phone number. Always use that particular one that you know, that even if you misplace your phone, you will always welcome and do a welcome back. There are some numbers that when we misplace it, we just simply go and get another SIM because we feel it's not that important. But there's this particular number that even if, for example, your phone got missing or something happened to your SIM, you will want to immediately the following day want to go and get a welcome back. That's the kind of number you reflect right there in your CV, your number one number, because you don't want a situation where they are trying to reach out to you and they cannot. The most common way that candidates are reached out to these days is through email and through phone number. Email because they will send you a mail for invitation, and some people, some organization will send you an SMS. I remember starting up in those days, my invitation for GT test was by SMS. When GTB invited me for aptitude test in Port Harcourt, I had to go from Lagos to Port Harcourt to go and write test. You understand? So it was by SMS I got my invitation. And I'm sure maybe some of us would have had such an experience also. Please, what's the difference between CV and resume? That is Rose asking. Please, is this an official email? Princess, okay, akayi14@gmail.com. Yes, Princess, it is an official email because what you did here is that you joined your Princess Akayi, you decided to differentiate your own with a 2-digit figure. This your email to